Hello and welcome you all to the class of Irrigation Engineering. In today's class, we will study how the soil and water helps to the plant or crop to its growth. So, as we know, this soil and water, this soil, soil and water, both are essential to the plant or crop growth. We cannot assume any crop without soil and water. So, as for civil engineering, how the soil helps to the civil engineer? So, we know the soil gives the foundation. Soil acts as a foundation for any structural component or a structure. So, in the same manner, soil this soil provides this soil provides a structural base to the crop, where the root zone or where the roots gets spread into the soil. So, we know the soil always occur in 2 or 3 phase system. So, this soil contains soil solid and pores. Okay. So, these pores may contain air or water. So, for proper growth of plants, these pores must contain air as well as water. So, this soil the plants gets essential element from the soil, and this water helps the crops through transpiration. This we can say this water helps the crop through transpiration, and this air voids helps the crop in nitrification. Okay. So, since in this air this bacteria are present, and which gives or provides the nitrates to the crop. Okay. So, if there will be no air in the pores, then again that may be affect the crops. So, for proper growth of crop, there must be air in these pores. Okay. That the pores should not be 100% saturation, that must contain some airs, so that nitrification process can occur, and that will be beneficial for plant. Okay. So, since this soil contains water, so there are some classification of water. Means, suppose when the field gets water, and this when the fields gets water, and we know how the fields get water. This water comes to the field either through rainfall or artificial irrigation. Okay, artificial irrigation. So, when the soil gets water, so just after rainfall or irrigation, that all the water voids get saturated. Okay, means all the voids are filled with soil, as we can see in this figure. Okay. So, but just after irrigation process, when the rainfall stops or when the irrigation stops, then some parts of water get easily drained out due to gravity. Okay. And those water which can easily drained out due to gravity is called gravitational water. Okay. And the remaining water, this remaining water is present, and this is called field capacity. Field capacity is the maximum water content in the soil just after draining out of the gravitational water. Okay, and in this water there are some parts of water which is hygroscopic, means this parts of water is hygroscopic. Hygroscopic means that water, when we keep oven dry soil, when we keep oven dry soil in open atmosphere or in open environment, it absorbs some water, or we can say absorbs moisture from the environment. Okay, and that part is called hygroscopic water. Okay, that water is called hygroscopic water, and that is present on the soil solid as a thin layer. Okay, so that water does not contribute to the crop. Okay, that water cannot be easily extracted from the roots. So the remaining water, which is this remaining water, and this water is only available for the crop. Okay, for transpiration purpose and that evaporation. Okay, so that water present is is called available water. Okay, so we can say that there may be gravitational water. Okay, so this is gravitational water which can be easily drained out due to gravity. Okay, and there will be some hygroscopic water. That water is absorbed by the soil solid and does not account for the crop for the transpiration purpose or evaporation purpose. Okay, and the remaining water only is present into the soil, that's only helps the crop, and that can be easily extracted by the root. Okay, for transpiration purpose. Okay, and so, and another terms is wilting point. Wilting points. Okay, wilting points, it can be of two types. The first one is temporary wilting point, and another is permanent wilting point. Permanent wilting point. So when we provide the water to the field or to the crops, then that is, you can see in this picture, when we provide the water to the field, okay, then all the voids are saturated, means we can say that is field capacity, means the maximum water content in the soil. Okay, this is field capacity. Okay, so when we irrigate the water, okay, suppose this is irrigation time, at time t1, when we irrigate the field or when we provide the water to the field, then water this reaches to the field capacity. Okay, but after irrigation, what happens, that the water present in the soil is taken by the plants through roots. So we can say there will be some decrease in water content. Why? Because water is taken by the crops or by the plants through its root zones. Okay, then water decreases into the soil and it reach to the some point. Okay, and that at that point what that root stops at this point, we can say root, this point, roots stop taking water. Okay, so since the root has stopped taking water from the field, then what happens, then plants get wilted. Okay, the health of plants get deteriorated. But if within some specific period or a specific time, if the fields get irrigated again, then plants start taking water. Okay, so that point is called wilting point, the temporary wilting point. Okay, means after some time that plants will start the taking water from the field. But if the irrigation is not done within a specific period, then after that period if we provide water to the field, but even though there will be water present in the soil, but plants has permanently stopped taking water, okay, and that gets die, and that point is called permanent wilting point. Okay, so we can say that in temporary wilting point the water, this the roots stopped taking water, from the soil. But if the irrigation is done, then but after irrigation, the roots started to take water. Okay, so that point is called temporary wilting point. But in permanent wilting point, what happen? If we irrigate the field, okay, if we provide the sufficient amount of water, ample amount of water to the field, even though that the plants or roots has stopped taking or extracting water from the field, water from the soil. Okay, and finally plants get die. Okay, plants get die or plants die. Okay, so that is called permanent wilting point. Okay, so we must provide water before the the water reaches to the wilting point. Okay, so as you can see in this picture, this is wilting point. So we should not wait the water to reach the wilting point. We must irrigate the field before the water reaches to the wilting point, and that is called OMC, that is optimum moisture content. Okay, OMC, correct. So since this water from field capacity to wilting point, this water can be taken or can be extracted by the roots. But you can see here there are some water present here also, and this is called hygroscopic water, and we know that plant cannot use hygroscopic water since it is there is some adhesion factor between the soil solid and the water. Okay, and that water is absorbed by the soil solid. So we can say that hygroscopic water is not available for the plants. Okay. Now, since all this what we have studied here, this constant field capacity and this field capacity or capillary water, okay, or hygroscopic water, this all we have studied in percentage. Okay, we can also express these terms in the terms of depth. Okay, so this here some constant are designated. Okay, so we have studied this is field capacity and this is called saturation capacity. Saturation capacity. Okay, saturation capacity means all the voids get saturated. Okay, means S is equal to 100, degree of saturation is 100%. Okay, so saturation capacity means all the water gets all the voids get filled with water, that is saturation capacity. And field capacity is what? Saturation capacity minus gravitational water. Okay, when the water drained out due to gravity and the present water or content is called field capacity. So it can be expressed in percentage with respect to this saturation capacity or field capacity, correct. But we can also express all these terms in depth. Okay, so and this is wilting point, that is temporary and permanent. Okay, so we can designate all this soil water constant in terms of depth. Okay, so just assume root zone depth, root zone depth as d meter. Okay, d meter, and a specific weight or unit weight of soil is equal to gamma s kg per meter cube, in that is in kg per meter cube. Okay, and this is in meter. And assume a specific weight of water as gamma w in kg per meter cube. Okay, so if we wish to find the weight of soil per unit area, okay, so we can say weight, or this weight of soil per unit area is equal to what? A specific weight into that area. So a specific weight, we have assumed that gamma s into 1 into d. Okay, 1 is for unit area and d is the depth. So this is the volume, and if we multiply volume with the unit weight, we will get the weight of soil. Okay, and the weight of water held by the soil, held or present in the soil per unit area is equal to unit weight of water into unit area into depth of water, d, a small d. Okay, a small d is the equivalent depth of the water present in the soil. Okay, so we know field capacity. This field capacity we can write this field capacity as field capacity means weight of water present in the soil by weight of the soil, It is very similar to that formula, water content. Okay, field capacity is nothing but the water content, okay, at field capacity. And we know how to find the water content, weight of water by weight of solid. So in the same manner, field capacity means water content and field capacity is equal to weight of water present in the soil divided by weight of soil. Correct. So we can write weight of water present is equal to how much? You can say here gamma w into 1 into d. Okay. So gamma w into 1 into d divided by weight of soil, that is gamma s into unit area into depth of the soil layer. Okay, so we can find this d at field capacity. Okay, so if we write d at fc, field capacity, is equal to gamma s by gamma w into d is the depth of root zone, into field capacity. Okay, so similarly depth of water, depth of water at permanent wilting point is equal to gamma s by gamma w into 1, that is unit area, into this permanent wilting point. Okay, water content at permanent wilting point. Okay, so this is the equivalent depth of water at permanent wilting point. So we know by this figure, this available water is equal to what? This filled capacity minus wilting point. So we can say that water available for the crop. Okay, so depth of water available in the root zone, okay, or available to plants is equal to what? This depth of water at filled capacity minus depth of water at permanent wilting point. So we can write gamma S by gamma W into filled capacity minus permanent wilting point. This permanent wilting point. Okay, so this is very important formula to find the depth of water available to the plant is equal to unit weight of soil divided by unit weight of water into filled capacity minus permanent wilting point. Okay, so this will give you the depth of water available to the plants. So as you can see in this figure that available water is equal to what? That filled capacity minus permanent wilting point. So initially when water is present sufficiently to the field, so that water is consumed by crops. Okay, so since water is consumed by the crops and it's get evaporated and transpirated. Okay, so water gets decreases into the soil. Okay, as you can see this in this figure. So initially all the voids are filled up with the water. So that water gets consumed by the plants and water gets decreases into the soil. Correct. So when this water reaches to the optimum moisture, okay, not wilting point, optimum moisture, then we should irrigate the field. Okay, we should irrigate the field and water gets increases and it should reach to the field capacity. Again the water gets decreases, but why? Because that water present in the soil gets extracted by the plants. Okay, and when again it reaches to the optimum moisture content, we must irrigate the water. Okay, we must irrigate the field and again that water must reach to the field capacity. Okay, and this process get repeated till the harvesting. Okay, so this is and this is what called watering interval. Okay, this is watering interval, means this is watering interval or irrigation interval. Correct, interval of irrigation. Correct. So for maize, for a few crops we can you can see for maize, wheat, sugarcane, barley and cotton, what should be the optimum moisture content. Okay, if the field capacity to 60% of availability, means we must irrigate the field in case of wheat. Okay, in case of wheat, suppose in case of wheat we must irrigate the field before it reaches to the 50% of field capacity. Okay. Now water, how the water absorbed by the plants. So we know all the plants or not all the plants, most of the plants gets water through its root zone. Okay, and these roots of the plants or the density of the plants gets decreases with the depth, means the higher density of roots present near to the surface. Okay, near to the ground surface, and when we go into the deep, then the density of roots gets decreases. Okay, and this if we divide this root zone into 4 parts, okay, into the 4 parts, 1 2 3 and 4 parts. Okay, so the first quarter takes the 40% of water. Okay, for transpiration purpose, whatever amount of water is required to the plants, 40% of the water collected by or extracted by the roots from first quarter. Okay, this is first quarter. Okay, and 30% water extracted by the roots zone from the second quarter. Okay, and in the third and fourth quarter, 20 and 10% water is extracted by the root zones. Okay, so we can say most of the water requirement in the upper parts, or we can say when we go beyond into the depth of water, into the deep of the soil, the water requirements get decreases, means the water taken by the roots mostly from the upper parts of the root zone. Okay, so today we will stop here. In the next class we will solve some numericals based on that some water constant, and we will study further. Okay, so thank you.